Welcome back to Beards and Brews. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right down there and be sure to ring that bell to let you know when we got another one brewing. This week's review, it's going to be Entrapment from 1999, starring good old favorite Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones' ass. Fellas, what'd you think?
Man, the whole highlight I remember as a child of this film is Catherine Zeta's ass.
I get it.
And then you get to see it, and you're like, eh.
Nope, that wasn't my reaction.
Setting off Chandler's lasers over there.
Oh yeah, I'm charging my laser. I'm a firing my laser. But this was actually the first time that I have seen this movie. I might have heard of this movie before, but it wasn't something that was like aware to me at all. I was like, it's got Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I think that's all I know about it.
Yeah, The Scottish Job with old Sean Connery. And I can say that the opening of this film is actually pretty good because they set it up with a really, really neat, like, modern spy, thief thing with the whole portable repair device and the really cool, like, Tim Burton Batman music.
I agree for sure. Like, I was getting, like, some real hard Splinter Cell vibes at the beginning. I was like, oh man, this is Sam Fisher doing some neat fucking shit.
Yeah, it's very Mission Impossible, James Bondy kind of stuff. I didn't really know where they were going, but whoever this is rappels down a building. And I still don't know exactly who this is, despite what is told to us in the movie. I was a little bit confused.
Okay, you drew the parallel between Mission Impossible and fucking Ving Rhames is basically the same character he is in all the Mission Impossible movies in this movie.
They were looking for a scab off the set, and he was like, I'm Marcellus Wallace, and I'll do
it. But, I guess person in the Splinter Cell suit is Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Is it? Okay, I wasn't sure if she was, like, just fucking with him there, or that was actually her.
Yeah, so just real fast, Catherine Zeta-Jones' character, I'm sure she has a name. She's like this crazy high-tech caper. She likes to just steal famous paintings and stuff, pay off whatever debt she has. But she also works for the insurance company that insures all this famous, expensive shit. So she's kind of like playing both sides. So A, she can get her rocks off when she steals shit, and B, I guess, be a successful insurance woman. Congratulations.
Yeah, we shortly find out that she works for like this big insurance agency, whatever, but we don't find out until much later that she's actually a thief.
Yeah, so we're under the impression that, her higher-ups don't know anything, and we kind of get the inkling that she's the mastermind of this whole operation, because when she's presenting the case to her boss and everything, she basically has all the answers immediately. Like, before any other of the investigation stuff happens, she's like, yeah, this is what happened with this piece of equipment, and you can tell because all this. Boom, solved it. And they're just like, huh, I look like Lieutenant Dangle.
But this opening scene is pretty cool, just like, aside from all the James Bondy stuff. They break into this office building, they, like, take the glass off and then replace it. They go in and steal this. It's a Rembrandt painting. They roll it up and then put it in like a cardboard tube and send it down to the mailroom. Yeah, this is just going to get mailed out to whoever it needs to go to, somebody in Kuala Lumpur. Meanwhile, I'm getting out of here with nothing in my hands. No evidence or anything.
Yeah, you just got me for breaking and entering. You can't fucking arrest me for nothing.
They sure enough can't, so who do they gotta think it is? Oh, Sean Connery. But at the same time, they make sure to reference that Sean Connery, quote-unquote, isn't Spider-Man anymore.
So there's the impression that sometime in his life he was Spider-Man, or just like what the fuck ever. Like he was just jumping all over the fucking place.
Imagine that.
Like even him, like in his younger days when he was James Bond, he was never like overly limber or anything. He's just like this huge dude just walking around just like, I'm better than all of you. And that's all he does. Like him just jumping around all spider monkey is just fucking weird.
You guys think that this might be like one volume of a film series for which the other volumes don't exist? Like there are things that happened before this that led to Sean Connery being who he is. And things that happened before this that led to Catherine Zeta-Jones being, like, probably some great films that just weren't made.
So we picked up the last book of Hunger Games.
I mean, maybe not the last book, maybe like the penultimate. You know, there's maybe one more left.
And we never get it. The movie tries really hard. He's like, sequel, watch more, watch our movie.
Yeah, but that ending is so fucking lame. It's so fucking lame. Like, the ending happens, and you're just like, come the fuck on. I genuinely had a fun time watching large chunks of this film until the end, and then I was just pissed. I fucking hated the ending. The rest of the movie, I might watch it again and have a good laugh.
I didn't mind the ending.
It was like storybook ending. Like, it was too fucking happy.
It was a little happy.
Like, everything just kind of wrapped up, and everything was okay. That kind of
Yes. Whenever we get to the end, I'll go into more depth. But I just didn't like the fact that the FBI is literally there with him. They're all around the station. She leaves, comes right back, and no one notices, and it's okay. I was just like, I can't do this, man. This is too much. Like, the rest, whatever, but this was too much.
All right, so this takes place, just for a setting, 16 days until the new millennium in the year 1999.
True. 16 days until NSYNC's new album. Cannot wait.
I was more thinking about Will Smith's new album, you know, Willennium.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was okay. Fast forward to the next day, Kuala Lumpur, 15 days until the millennium. We've got a human Jabba the Hutt just sitting around smoking opium and is like, get me my painting. I need pictures of Spider-Man.
It's almost like crackhead Marlon Brando. It was really fucking tough.
Yeah.
Yes. I have exactly
this
that
dude,
written down.
Like whoever they got for this fucking crime lord fella, like whomever the makeup guy was, they knocked it out of the park. It's one of those things where they hit the nail on the head so hard. Like, I didn't want to fucking look at this disgusting guy because he was just fucking atrocious.
He's very, like you said, Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now, specifically in Apocalypse Now, mostly because he's just hanging out in like Southeast Asia and fat and smoking opium and just lethargic. But yeah, that's pretty much who this guy is.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a cool 74 degrees outside, but he's sweating like a fucking pig.
Just basted in his own fluids.
Ugh.
Ew.
He does have a pretty badass Iron Maiden poster behind him, though. Gotta give him props for that.
He's just there. He's just over there smelling like vinegar. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the background of this guy, and I'd kind of like to know, because he's definitely like an American expatriate living somewhere in Malaysia, but like poor Malaysia, like barely out of the jungle Malaysia. And he's got like this little bungalow with an Iron Maiden poster and like all the opium he can smoke.
We'll just call him Bungalow Bill, whatever. He's just there because the dollar stretches further.
There we go.
Hey, are any of you thieves a size 13?
But further on, we realize that like this is the guy she's indebted to. Like all the equipment that she uses throughout the movie, he's like the dude to get it. So in order to pay him off, instead of her keeping the items that she steals, she gives it to him to sell. Which
includes that Rembrandt, and we'll get to some other things later.
14 days till the millennium. England.
Is that really 14 days?
Yes.
Something okay. Like that. But she convinces her higher ups to be like, hey, it was totally Sean Connery. He did this. Let me go tail him for whatever reason, and we can just pin it on him, yada, yada, yada.
I bet she's going to be the one that does the tailing. Ass. Yeah. By the way, her boss there is, I don't remember his real name, but he was in The Fourth Kind, which we talked about a couple months ago. He's always kind of the asshole.
In this one, he's straight up Federal Agent Dangle from Reno fucking Police. That's all he is. He looks exactly like that man. He's just not New Boot Goofing. That's all.
He might be New Boot Goofing. They never really show his feet.
Oh, he's just like in a straight up like government suit, pan down, boom, snakeskin boots. Get him.
Blood red snakeskin boots. Yeah, that's what he's got on.
Only 6 payments, buddy.
Freshly shined.
Anyway, so she's gonna go to London, start tailing him, and I guess the idea is that, at least according to her company, She's going to go there, start using this Chinese mask artifact as bait for him to entrap him.
And there you have it. That's the title of the movie.
Sure
Everyone
is.
can go home now. We've done it. Mission accomplished.
No, whenever they finally get together and they do the whole entrapment explanation, that was just so like forced.
Very on the nose.
At that point, Sean Connery's character didn't know what the jig was, but like having that conversation just felt super out of place. Like, how do you not put two and two together at that point?
He didn't know what the jig was, but he knew that it was up.
Oh no.
So we're treated to completely fucking inept Catherine Zeta-Jones tailing Sean Connery as he gets into this old ass car, goes to the Wendy's drive-thru where he promptly falls asleep while demanding pasta.
Pasta?
Pasta.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
I'm aware of what it is, goddammit. I'm Sean Connery, bring me pasta.
So
I don't know where to go from there.
Well, they tap on the glass of his car, he gets spooked, slams the gas, and runs into the Wendy's sign. How the fuck did I get here?
Where's the Rembrandt? Taken back to the old folks' home.
My favorite part of this little part in England is, so he walks into this Kryptonic Labs building. I don't know what this is, but like alarms start to blare and he walks out. By the way, he straight up looks like fucking Henry Jones Sr. Like that's just who he is. So he walks out. He looks like a confused old man, just like playing it off. Turns out, he's got $20 million in his pocket.
And then he saw like a crowd of pigeons and he like ran at him with his umbrella.
Well, I'd better leave and keep these microprocessors in my pocket.
We're gonna need these for later. Winks at the camera.
Yeah. The cop just rounds him up. It's like, hey, sir, are you okay? It's like, no, it's nothing, sir. It's just a couple microprocessors in my pocket. It's his dick. Oh, man. But there's like this weird, like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's like a catch-22 or just some kind of like double agent stuff. Like, Sean Connery knows that she's on his tail. And this whole shebang was just kind of like set her up. So while she's in her hotel, he sneaks into her room somehow.
By the way, someone stole her luggage. She comes in and is like, well, guess I've got to get naked.
As you do.
Yeah.
You can't wear, honestly, you can't wear clothes for more than like 4 hours at a time. They go bad. They just, it's expiration date. You got to keep an eye on it.
So Sean Connery sitting in the corner, came in through the window, was like, excuse me, miss, let it now.
He's like, Mr. Connery, that's let it snow.
I know what I said.
Trebek.
Yeah.
But this is like one of those like super awkward moments because you think it's gonna like be, hey, don't stalk me, I'll get you because we're rival thieves. Instead he goes, sure, you sleep with your tits out. You want to be partners.
Basically. Even though that was he broke one of his own rules. It's like, never trust the naked lady. And
That's
like,
true.
then he just goes right to trusting her. So what the fuck ever.
Yeah, she's sleeping with her boss's little pistol under her pillow. And he's like, rule number 1, never carry a gun. Rule number 2, never trust a naked woman.
Rule number 3, never hit the lady. Just show her who's boss.
Why'd you turn Russian?
I couldn't hold it without laughing.
He's a Russian submarine commander.
Oh, yes.
All right, so they're gonna steal this vase. Meet 9 a.m. tomorrow. They're gonna steal this $200,000 vase just for fun. I don't know.
The setup for it makes no sense. He instantly just tells her, "Go in there and buy it. $200,000 fucking dollars. Do it."
He just hands over an American Express like, here, it's good anywhere, like a fucking commercial.
Yeah, 100%. And then she goes in and is like, "I need the miles," and the dude's like, "I need to cut your throat." And she comes running back out after smashing the vase and getting some microfilm, and comes running back out, taps on the window, and Sean Connery snaps awake. He's like, "Pasta!"
Why didn't you get the vase? I smashed it. Why did you do that? Because he had a knife at my throat. Well,
He's just so verklempt. Just.
But you got the mic film? Let me explain entrapment. It's blackmail. Entrapment's what cops do. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's just have a helicopter ride in my fucking secret castle somewhere, which I feel like deep down, that's like his actual place.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking the same fucking thing because I was like, dude, did he never get over Highlander? You know?
There can be only one. That's why I have three castles.
And my gift is a never-ending pasta bowl.
And never-ending breadsticks.
Have you seen their salads?
Lady, come here. Let me show you my shepherd's pie.
No, I'm just thinking about him having a really good time at Olive Garden. You know,
this whole thing. It's 16 days until the never-ending Italian pasta bowl.
when they grate the Parmesan, you know, they don't stop until they tell you to.
They ask you to say when. I never.
And you never say anything.
All right, Nixon.
I just went straight.
That was Nixon. Yeah. I never say anything.
More Parmesan, Agnew. This is getting off the rails.
Whatever,
Good.
I'm keeping it. So they go back to his castle, and she has this grand scheme of getting this mask from this very high security place. It's like it's almost like the crown jewels of some country. I don't know.
No, that would be too easy.
She has this like brilliant scheme plotted and everything. She already has the secret code to unlock the acrylic case for it and everything. All they have to do is get the timing right so they can steal it at exactly midnight after a gala party.
This whole setup blew my mind, okay? They come up with some really cool shit, they do. But what gets me is the forced tension by the director between Catherine Zeta-Jones, who is clearly just trying to have fun in this movie, and Sean Connery, who is clearly just having fun in this movie. And it doesn't work. So he's like, and 1, and 2, and 3. And every time he says the number, she says bang. And then he gets to 4 and she doesn't say bang. And he's like, why didn't you say bang? And then she throws a fucking temper tantrum.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, you know, character-wise, Sean Connery's trying to be all business, no pleasure. And Catherine Zeta-Jones just...
Maybe a little pleasure?
Yeah, like, she's trying to, like, seduce him, but she just comes off as, like, a little bitchy kid. Like, just being a brat.
Yeah, she's like, hey, let's do it. And he's like, get off me, wench, and slams down the fucking map to Olive Garden and starts circling the entrances.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
I can't do anything. The gun is good and the penis is bad.
Listen, the whole time that he was like, it's complicated, I thought that they were going to go into like a whole pitch, because they've already done 3 product placements by this point. I thought they were going to do a whole pitch for like Viagra.
Oh, God. Please, no. That'd be awful.
I would expect, like, okay, this movie did run a little bit short of what I expected as far as the runtime goes. You know, usually something like this would be like, 2 hours, 2:15. This is an hour and 45. Explained in what ways it's complicated. But really, I was just evidently toward the end of the movie, it wasn't that complicated anymore.
It's just really bad writing because it didn't even stick to the rules that it set up. It's like, hey, let's just keep it business, no emotion whatsoever, and we get the job done, period. Mm-hmm. And then he just brings up the line, it's complicated. It's not. You literally just said it fucking 20 minutes ago. All you have to do is like, listen, business first. And then the rest of the movie would be gravy. No, he's like, I actually have layers, like an onion. It's complicated.
What about a parfait?
Like,
parfaits have layers. But yeah, they spend the next week just like training and flirting and training to try and get this thing right so they can get in here and steal this mask, which is evidently worth like, I don't know,
$40
billion or something. 40 million? Yeah, a lot of money.
No, I like the absurdity. It's just like a gajillion dollars.
Yeah. It's worth all the monies.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like, they spend a week basically just edging Sean Connery the entire time because the setup they have, goodness. Okay, it's just for some background. they have to get to this laser-trapped room, and they can't see the lasers. So, blindfolded, Catherine Zeta-Jones has to kind of like wriggle her way through the room, yoga style, just to get to the mask. So, to practice, they have the blueprint to the place. They set up all these like little yarn lines with bells on them so she can practice. For the next 15, 20 minutes, it's legitimately shot of Sean Connery's face just being sweaty, shot of Catherine Zeta-Jones' ass.
Like, I'd have her as my yoga instructor any day.
I get it. She's a very good-looking woman, but it's just the shots of Sean Connery just being just like otherworldly, just like, oh, shit. I'm just like, it's so weird.
I didn't know a woman could move that way.
Yeah, it's like when a guy moans in a porn, it's like, shut up.
So, realistically, he sort of kidnaps her. I'm using that term loosely. I'm not really sure if she 100% agreed to come back to this castle, but once she's back to the castle, she's like, yeah, that Rembrandt? I'm the one that stole it. And then he's like, yeah, that Rembrandt? I'm the one who has it.
Dang. That was actually a really cool fucking move, too, because she was really excited to tell him, like, how she did it, as she's kind of, like, trapezing around the room or whatever.
Yeah, this seemed very, like, Lara Croft from the first or second video game to me,
Sure. Yeah. And, like, she's excited, she's getting into it, and she's like, this whole thing kind of, like, gets me off, and she's trying to impress him, and he's like, dearie, it's right here in my hands. See? Rembrandt titties.
How'd you get that? Why steal it from the building where I could steal it from you?
Look, it's clever. I like that part a lot. But I think that's the only bit in the movie that we get from Sean Connery being like extra smart in the movie, because the rest of the time he's just thinking with his dick.
Yeah. Like, they get their equipment delivered the next morning.
Ving Rhames, the supplies guy, shows up and, brings all of the stuff, the spy stuff for this next heist. All of these things, the liquid plasma screens.
It's a fucking
he was really
Nintendo DS.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's really pissed when he got that DS. No stylus? Wow, fuck you, Ving.
I can't show posture with this.
And Ving's just like, no, don't worry, you can play Cooking Mama anytime that you want.
How do I trade the Pokemons?
I evolved my Eevee, but it became a Jolteon. I wanted Vaporeon.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go straight old person, like my favorite Slytherin. He just has no fucking clue what he's talking about.
By the way, what is liquid plasma? I don't remember. Like, I was like 14 or 15 when the Millennium happened.
I think he meant liquid crystal display, because like when he was poking at it later, it just looks like one of those old LCD screens.
Yeah, it looks like an LCD, but he says liquid plasma.
It's cool, and I don't think he could say crystal. Crystal.
That's my second favorite hooker. I just keep remembering they forgot my Frosty.
I said I wanted Cajun chicken pasta and a Frosty, bitch.
He finally acknowledges he went to Wendy's. Oh, they got me.
Oh, I can sweat.
Yeah, it got me like tearing up a little. Oh no. What a fucking home run. I don't even remember where we are.
Ving Rhames, when he's dropping off supplies, he's talking with Sean Connery, and he's like, can you get me a dress? And Ving Rhames is like, what? Oh, for her, not for me. I'm a man. For her.
I already have one. Oh, whatever.
But he wants this dress, and then we get to see it later on in this fucking awkward semi-romantic scene, and it looks fucking terrible. She looks awful in that dress.
Hang on. It's not impressive, and like the lead up to that scene is pretty awkward, because he's just like standing at the base of the stairs like, where are you? like just yelling at her, like, get down, there's a guy, get down. Fuck, I don't know why he went Arnold, but like he's yelling at her. Well, it was like some spousal abuse situation.
Yeah, and it just gets worse once she gets down there because he's yelling at her, number one, to come get the goddamn thing. He goes, "You look like you're a size 6, but I got you a size 4.
So, you're not eating until we get this done.
That's okay. He took her for a drink later on anyways.
Either the dress fits or you hit the bricks."
But this dress, yeah, you're right. It's not amazing. I don't think it's terrible. It just looks a little bit like Christmas wrapping to me.
Yeah, I was getting like a weird like Asian vibe, like it was like a geisha outfit.
Yes,
like I didn't know what they were trying to do.
I really didn't like it. But the fact that he was like, or she goes, "Hey, you got me a gift." He goes, "Don't worry, it's coming out of your half." He's truly an extraordinary gentleman.
There it is, yeah.
Oh. But maybe you were right with getting like the geisha, like Chinese vibes, because the whole point of this dress is so they can go in and steal this Chinese mask that they're celebrating, like, 200 or 2,000 years of, I don't know what it is, but like the mask is Chinese.
The history doesn't matter. What matters is watching two people awkwardly walk around the room trying to case the joint and putting like a Tic Tac on the floor at the end of it.
It was a goddamn watch battery. But you're talking about them walking around and casing it. Sean Connery is a world-renowned yet well-known master thief, and this motherfucker is just like, surveillance cameras. Let me stand in front of it. You know?
He basically just like fucking just like standing in front of it, just like wide-legged, pulling his pants down. Yes, that's right. Let me show you the meaning of an English pound.
He's like looking at the camera.
About a dick or like a turd. What are you doing here?
I hope. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I want to say I hope it's the former, but like there's no win.
I'm voting for the latter because he sees the camera and he's just so fucking confident. He's like, "I'm about to drop a fudge dragon. What are you gonna do about it?"
Like, are we talking about his haggis or are we talking about a black sausage?
We're talking about his dragon heart.
Oh, shit. The dragon heart is just a big, crusty, round one that hits the fucking ground like a thud.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm just picturing just like some Scottish pulled noodle, and I'm not liking it.
So
it's extra pale.
So before all this, before they actually go in and everything, Catherine Zeta-Jones she thought up an excuse. She's got to go find a Christmas present or something for Sean Connery. She goes to this, random telephone booth, because I'm sure they still have those in Scotland. Makes a phone call back to her boss, being sneaky about it. Like, hey, we're going to get this guy. Because the boss is still thinking, all right, she's there to catch Sean Connery. She's getting him. But Sean Connery bugged this telephone booth, obviously, because he's Sean Connery.
I mean, given the proximity the phone booth was to the castle, what'd she think? There was nothing around. Like, he owns probably everything that you could see, like the fucking Lion King or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Everything the hazy sky touches, that's mine.
Yes.
Oh, shit. But guess what? That watch battery is apparently all he needed to go become Scuba fucking Steve, snorkel for 2 seconds, cut some fucking... Okay, they get in super easy, and I was like, why are there stairs leading under the exhibit? Like, why haven't they filled this up? There were so many questions.
Well, they said previously that there was some kind of like excavation for like whomever owned the property like 1,000 years ago, and they used it as some kind of escape tunnel, and they wind up flooding it later on for the drainage, something, yada yada.
Yeah.
They had some sort of excuse like that, some bullshittery, just so it could work.
Yeah, that was originally an exit for the owner's mistress, and then it ended up becoming like a part of the canal or whatever.
Got a tunnel for the hooers. All right, that's how you do it.
Now, they set up, much like, the Italian Job, this under the floor, they're under the goddamn ground trimmers type shit.
Yep.
To where they cut out a single tile perfectly timed to the gongs of a clock.
And they kind of made the explosives in a manner to where, like, they weren't too noisy or anything to startle the one inept security guard in the entire place. It just seemed very Okay, it's cool. Like, the equipment that they use is cool, and how they kind of put together is cool, but it just seemed, in action, it was just very meh.
Yeah, like, I do think this scene is kind of cool. Maybe I have lower expectations than you guys, but getting those, like, little thumps, because, okay, they do the explosion, and then they have, like, this tamper or whatever it is that's supposed to loosen up the thing. They do that with every gong of this clock that's going off right at midnight, and I don't know. I think it's a cool idea.
Maybe it's because of, like, the security guard himself, because he's such a wild card. Like, everything else has been, like, all ones and zeros completely figured out. But this one fella, you know, he could, you know, walk a little quicker, walk a little slower. All the time he just comes down to this guy just, like, farting around the place before he finds the missing mask.
And the expressions on the security guy's face while he's sitting there, you know, waiting to go on his rounds, while these things are happening, the explosions, the thumps, you're not really sure if he's like, was that something? Should I look at that? It's probably nothing.
Listen, he pulled a Joey Tribbiani, and he's like, something's afoot.
Are strange things afoot at the Circle K?
Oh my god, this guy was super dumb, because, like, he's a security guard in this place. He should know the ins and outs. Motherfucker tries to open doors he knows is locked. He's like, what's all this there? Oh, that's right, I got a security access card. Beep, here we go.
It was a very Metal Gear Solid type guard. You're not in my cone of view, so I can't see you. And then whenever I am surprised, I go, huh? 1,000, 1,000. Boink!
He looks at Catherine Zeta-Jones. Huh, just a box.
Yeah.
Her vagina.
Catsuit Zeta-Jones. This is where she's supposed to be so sexy. Now, I'm not trying to knock her for anything. To me, she's obtainable hot. She's pretty, but not so pretty that you wouldn't talk to her. You know what I mean?
And then she does that weird crab walk, and you're like,
I did write down crab walk.
It's like a dog pissing. She takes the dog pissing on a fire hydrant pose. And this cat suit she's wearing is so fucking ill-fitting.
It is. Like, in a scene like this, you expect for Hollywood to be like, yeah, make it super tight. I want to see everything. I want to see how clean you are. but it just looked like I don't know, it looked like a trash bag that was just kind of like haphazardly taped to her or whatever.
It reminded me of like motorcycle gear.
Oh, she's just fucking sneaking around in a Harley outfit. The big old eagle in the back.
Exactly. But this is also where I start having a really hard time with the movie, like suspension disbelief wise. So she gets over to the mask after doing her weird crab walk through all the invisible lasers. Sean Connery references Jurassic Park. Clever girl. And he's like, don't forget the pressure sensor, just like Indiana Jones. And she's like, I won't. Deploying pressure sensor deactivator or some stupid shit, and it's bubble gum.
Pressure switch neutralization device. And yeah, it's the gum that she sticks in her mouth like 10 minutes earlier.
I mean, does it make for like a little bit of a funny joke? Sure, but then you realize they go through all this shit so they don't get caught, and she leaves her DNA behind.
Yeah, true.
Would you risk a switch held down by pressure to be held in place by fucking gum? That mask has to weigh at least 3 pounds. Gum is not 3 pounds.
See, my argument is, at that point, it didn't matter. Like, she wouldn't even have needed to sneak back into the hole, because it still would have taken that stupid guard forever to get to the door. Because, like, the alarm only went off when he saw the mask was missing.
This is the big thing that blew my mind. We get to see her. This is, in continuity in the film. We get to see her take the mask, put the bubble gum, put the mask inside of her cat suit, and begin to creep away. The guard then looks inside and sees what? A monkey mask on the podium. It's like, when the fuck did she do that?
Also, where was she keeping that? Because we only see her take it and put the Chinese mask in. There's no space for anything where it was. She doesn't have pockets.
No.
Where was this monkey mask?
Prison wallet.
I keisted it.
It's whatever. This whole thing is just because we need to get to Kuala Lumpur.
So they scurry away, get to the boat down in the little canal, whatever. And this is when it happens. Sean Connery is like, "You work for the insurance company. You're trying to entrap me."
That's the movie.
Yeah. And, tries to, like, hold her head under the water a little bit and is like, oh, you're a little bitch, aren't you? He doesn't say that, but you know what I mean.
He dunks her, right? And she goes under, and it's Catherine Zeta-Jones. And when he pulls her up, she's got bleached blonde hair, and she goes, "This dirty girl needs a bath."
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fucking Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But like every time that he dunks her and she resurfaces, she's completely just okay with being almost drowned each time. Like he gives him the exact information that he wants. He's like, oh blah 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 blah. 2 minutes later, okay, let me tell you everything. Just it's like kind of whatever. She like doesn't mind that she's about to die or could die.
All right, I'm gonna give you some information. All right, I'm going back under. More information. Going back under. More information. All right, going back under.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got a knife to your
torture
throat.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, she pops back up the last time and puts a knife to his throat and is like, "Hey, I've got this last thing. It's worth over $1 billion. It's in Kuala Lumpur. I need you. So let's do this, or I've got a knife to your throat. Really, I don't plan on using this. So
I still love you. Let's be best friends."
Yeah.
I have only met you, but I love you.
I just met you, and this is crazy.
Yep, they're going to Malaysia. They are now 2 days before the millennium. This was 5 days before the millennium. So they have gone from Scotland to Malaysia, which is literally halfway around as far as you can get around the world. 2 days. It takes that long to get there.
You're not wrong. And to Brady's point earlier, Sean Connery is like a class 9 thief. Like this fucking guy is known by everybody. He's basically a celebrity, and the fucker has a passport. Like people are just like waltzing him through customs, just like, yeah, man, get out of here, buddy.
Thank you. I'll be stealing your wallet as I go.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Goodness. And gentlemen, please tell me how beautiful Kuala Lumpur is.
Oh my gosh. So fucking Catherine Zeta-Jones is clearly instructed to say, "Isn't it beautiful here?" And it pans to Sean Connery as they roll in one of those little fucking pagoda boats through just open sewer slums. And he's like, "No."
No, Sean was like, "Open sewer. Don't mind if I do."
You guys remember the town in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? The one with like no vegetables and like their cows are dying and things like that.
Oh yeah,
it's like that kind of town.
Yes.
No. Well, it's too bad. Fuck them. Sean Connery stole their fucking magic stones. And of course, this is the moment, the big reveal. Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, voila, this is our next job. And it's like the famous Petrona Towers. At the time, the tallest buildings in the world. And somewhere in there, it's the bank. And her grand scheme is that at midnight, when everything ticks over through the millennium, they're going to take advantage of the Y2K bug and buy some time so they can get little increments of money from every business that uses that bank. So in like 10 seconds, they're going to earn like $8 billion.
Yeah, all of this using microtransactions. They are way ahead of EA on this.
Fuck yeah.
It's in the game.
Yeah, but also this is exactly what they do in Office Space.
Listen, this is Die Hard from fucking Han's perspective. That's all it is. They have their crew, they have their plan, they wait specifically for the night of a holiday to get their job done, and they go into a giant bank vault in a very tall skyscraper in order to get away.
The only difference is that these doors open at right angles, which I thought was fucking cool.
Huh.
I mean,
they do things a little bit differently in Southeast Asia. But yeah, I guess the idea is exactly like Office Space. They're going to go in. They've got a little code inside what was an Enya CD. And yeah.
I was a little disappointed they didn't use any Enya after that reference. Like,
no
as they're
Enya.
trying to get away. As they're trying to get away, Sean Connery's getting shot in the back. He's not making. She's like, "Who can say when the whatever?"
Yeah,
It's all
we
sad
really
shit.
could have used, like, especially to close the movie, Orinoco Flow would have been perfect.
The
But
fact
no.
that they didn't use only time is it's a waste because that's what they were doing. They were stealing time so they can pull off this job.
Yeah, basically, but they can only do that within a 30-second window. They've got 30 seconds of downtime at midnight on the millennium, year 2000. And also, for whatever reason, they need to put in a code so that the atomic clock starts creeping back a tenth of a second every hour for, I don't know.
Look, man.
They need 10 more seconds.
It's very simple. They got to get something to eye scan, so they mace the mayor. They got to hack the mainframe. And in Catherine Zeta-Jones's words herself, they have to download the quote-unquote stuff. Sean Connery even comments on this and goes, the stuff.
The stuff.
You've got it. You know exactly what you're doing. But you know what? The movie itself is just like, And then the Catherine Zeta-Jones is like, listen, give me that fucking Scottish baguette. Things have to get steamy.
Speaking of steam, what I've got here today from Anchor Brewing Company, this is their classic Anchor Steam Beer. It's got a nice, caramel golden color to it. Smells a little bit malty. Now, what a steam beer is, for those who don't know, way back in the day, it was a lot harder, especially across country, to get things like ice and refrigeration. But, what was popular was lagers. Lagers use a specific type of yeast other than ales. Lager yeast brews at a lower temperature, ale yeast brews at a higher temperature. That's pretty much the difference. But these guys over at Anchor decided they were going to use lager yeast at a higher temperature, and that's why they call it steam beer. Really crisp, really, just a good, solid, medium-bodied, lightly hoppy, lightly malty, really well-balanced beer. Like, this is a classic in the world of craft beer.
Well, that sounds pretty good. But hey, speaking of medium-bodied, Catherine Zeta-Jones, she gets friend-zoned.
She sure does. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happens here, but
this is the part where Sean Connery's like, no, I can't, it's complicated. And it's not. Fuck it.
Yeah, I think at this point Sean Connery actually whips out onto her sorry, I'm
Sean doesn't want to screw her because he's about to screw her in a completely different way.
That's right. There's all these different layers of complication. Turns out that Ving Rhames wasn't his supplier, but his handler. He'd been caught many years ago, and he'd been working for the FBI to take down Catherine Zeta-Jones, who'd been trying to take down Sean Connery.
Oh, yeah, this is right after Catherine Zeta-Jones went to fucking sweaty opium guy, and was like, hey,
thanks for the brick.
Yeah, here is your Rembrandt, and here is the mask. Let me have the codes and everything for this big heist. And he's like, this is the Rembrandt, but this mask is actually a brick. And she's like, fuck, Sean Connery done fucked me. So the next time they meet up, there's a little bit of a tussle that ends up in some spooning, maybe?
Yes.
Spooning.
My situation is complicated, so I can't have sex. No pills. We can try. Sorry, my breadstick has steamed too long in its bag, and I'm afraid it can't reach crisp perfection without the pills.
Jesus Christ.
But now that we know there's all this extra, background convolution to the film, you go, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because they're just like, okay, let's do it anyway. And they just go do the job anyhow. They're just on it, The greatest heist of all time took 4.5 days to put together.
Yeah, it's weird. The only person that really is who everyone thinks they are is Sean Connery. He's like, I'm a thief.
And they're like, you're not wrong, Mr. Connery. You're a thief.
But yeah, everybody else is somebody else.
Now they show up back to that bank building on New Year's Eve, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And they do this little camera trick that you see in every fucking movie. They go in the elevator, they step off, they freeze frame it, no one catches on, and they're like, we don't know where they went. Everyone, FBI-wise, is there watching you might want to send your people.
The guy who owns the building is even like, hey, I have 3,000 cameras to this should be recorded everywhere. And as an audience member, you're like, yeah, they should be. What's the problem? You know?
Just one camera being freeze framed fucked up the entire operation. Like, that's all they needed.
I love how chill the owner or manager, whoever this is, of the buildings are. He's just like, yeah, these guys, you know, they're no threat to us. We have 1 billion cameras. They're probably watching the fireworks or something. These professional thieves, they're not doing anything sketchy. Oh, we can't find them? It's probably nothing.
You think it's like a stupid move on his part, but listen, his insurance guy's right beside him just to make sure everything's okay. He's covered.
He's just nudging him like, let him fucking take it.
Yeah, exactly. Allstate, what are you going to do?
Now they're upstairs and they're concerned about lasers, so they open these fucking roach bombs and throw them on the ground, and the spray shows the lasers, and like, now we must do the forbidden dance through these lasers. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, something that's never telegraphed earlier in the movie either. They just have this dance ready.
Yeah, it's like Sean wraps his arm around Catherine and they just like pace together in this awkward step. Catherine Zeta-Jones looks like she might enjoy it. Sean Connery just doesn't. It's just business.
Just the tip. I mean, business.
She's looking like she's just really holding back a laugh because she's back there like, 1, 2, 3. God damn it, woman, you're stepping on my toes.
I'm supposed to lead.
Either way, like, this high-tech, super secure bank vault is just down the hallway to the left. That's it. It's just right there.
Yeah, they walk in, instantly, quote unquote, hack the system, time it to New Year's, day on the dot, and congrats, they stole it. We did it, and then you get one of the most awkward fucking movie kisses I've ever seen in my life.
He just tried to eat her face like a bowl of pasta.
With his fucking eyes open, he's like, I'm going to consume you.
Oh no.
Like,
you're Catherine Zeta-Jones now.
But one of my favorite little things about this is they bust into this place, they sneak in, they've got the passcode, and they're finally in. And Sean Connery is just like, well, where's the loot? Back in my day, there was gold and money in a bank.
And then Catherine Zeta-Jones is just like, hey, it's all about dial-up, bitches, and starts switching fucking wires around.
Yeah, and I don't know what that does at all.
2 wires moved, and she's like, I got $8 million. Like, what?
Yeah, they both become fucking Ross Perot real quick. I got $4 billion.
Can of finish. Can of finish.
Big old ears.
Mm-hmm.
But now they got to get out of there. So she pulls a plug, and it's like, wow, red alert. You guys fucked up. Wow.
Like, I don't understand why that happened, like, at all. Like, I know that, like, they need some kind of resistance because it felt way too easy for that to happen. But, like, all she did was unplug her computer, which had already successfully hacked into the system so she could do her stuff. So...
And then this giant, like, iron claw starts to come over the computer, or the disk drive. So they have to fight with it to get the disk back. And it's like, if that disk stays in there, we're fucked. So there's a little bit of, like, wiggling that they have to do with that. And
Sean Connery is like, that's a signed copy of Enya.
You can definitely see the end. And, like, it's like a moment in the movie where it's like, suspense, which is like, you're like, we still got 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
They
oh
get
my
out
goodness. And what a 20 minutes it is.
It is, because you realize how geriatric Sean Connery is at this point, and there's no fucking way they're putting him in, like, a super action situation. So this whole chase scene is just them, like, sauntering down a hallway, quick, up there, sauntering on a roof, quick, over there.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know who security is, but they start shooting, like, gas grenades from one tower into the other, and they go back out through that window, and there's a helicopter, and
Sean Connery becomes a fucking gecko because they start going across these Christmas lights and they snap, even though it's high tensile wire, and I guess it can't hold 300 fucking pounds, but whatever. And he slams into one of the pillars. It's completely cylindrical. Yet he's like slap and just is on it.
No, that his get-up, his costume there, it's made out of cling wrap.
He's just so innocent. It's
I
cling wrap.
bet you didn't know Saran did that.
Well, the reason why the cables broke is because Catherine Zeta-Jones weighs like $1, and Sean Connery's literally 300 pounds of pure tortellini.
Too much pasta.
It's spaghetti.
SpaghettiOs.
But
Catherine, my pasta's trying to tell me something. It says, "Ooh."
I'm fucking done. Sean Connery gives Catherine a plan B.
After she
don't want to have that baby.
Yeah, which is basically a parachute, and Sean just decides, like, I'm gonna get caught. So let me just go ahead and get caught.
I don't even know how he got out of that situation. Like, I know that he was, I don't want to say working for the bad guys, but definitely like a double agent kind of thing. But,
he is the bad guys.
He's multiple guys. He's 5 guys.
But 5 guys. But their pasta's delicious.
But like, the dudes have rifles. They don't know who he is. They're probably gonna shoot him on sight. Like, what's his shtick? Like, when she's gone, just be like, haha, no hablo. Am I right, fellas? Just like, just fucking.
I don't know what that means. I'm Malaysian.
Oh Christ!
Yeah.
Whatever. They wriggle their way out of the situation and hard cut to poo train station or something.
Yeah, he's like, okay, tomorrow 6:30, meet me at the train station. If I don't show up, it's because I'm dead.
The motherfucker's 3 minutes late, so she's like, oh no, he's dead. And then he's like, I've secretly crept up behind you 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, like, the first thing she notices is just his fucking smell, his musk. She's like, marinara. He was Mr. Universe at one point, so he just never stopped carbo loading.
Yeah, something smells like, vodka sauce and Dracar Noir? It's him.
But okay, we got to talk about this ending because, again, I had an okay time watching this film. I really did. I was like, this is going to be shitty. But because me and you, Eric, had that talk about Sean beforehand, and I was making the pasta jokes throughout the film, I fucking had a good time. And then this ending happened, and all I could think was, okay, cool, you gave me a twist, a double cross, and a conclusion. Cool. Now I get a second twist, another double cross, and another conclusion. All of which are fucking stupid. Why'd you do that?
Snip, snap, snip, snap.
Catherine Zeta-Jones like, how is this happening? Sean's like, it's the twisting, love. Just let it happen.
You've been entrapped.
Looks right at the camera. Pasta.
Yeah, so Sean Connery, it turns out, is in cahoots with the FBI. Ving Rhames is part of the FBI. What a twist. So, he's scurrying about scot-free. Scot-free?
Scott. Like the toilet.
In exchange for turning her in. And he's just like, yeah, I had to give it all up. I had to give up all $7 billion.
But in like true, I don't know, heartwarming fashion, it's like, I gave up all the money, but I couldn't give up you. And like has this like little plan to like kind of like pocket this little gun with her so she can get away. And she does. And then comes back once all the feds are gone, even though they probably even haven't left the station yet. You know, all they have to do is like check on Sean again, just like peek around the corner, like, hey, you want the Stromboli? What the fuck? She's still here, and it's over.
I thought she left.
He breaks one of his rules. He's like, never carry a gun. Here, take this gun. Like
both rules that he had are completely bullshit. He breaks them both immediately.
Okay, wait. When did he have a gun?
It's the same gun that he took from her earlier in the movie.
When did he take her gun?
From the pillow earlier on.
I don't remember him taking the pill. Okay. All right. Maybe I wasn't paying that much attention at that point, but yeah. Okay.
Whatever. It's a happy ending that didn't need to exist. It's whatever. It's really hokey. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, she gets away on the train, and then sneakily comes back when everybody's gone, the FBI's gone, so they're the only ones left in the train station. It's just like, oh, it's you.
They can't even explain how it happened. Sean Connery's character goes, but how? And she goes, it was perfect. And then that's it.
She jumped trains.
Yeah, she jumped from one train to another as it was leaving the station.
But you never see another train.
I don't know.
Well, the one that came back. Whatever. Like, Sean just takes her, like, by the arm. It's like, listen, I hear they have a taste of Italy. And they just walk into the fucking sunset.
Towards Olive Garden.
Yeah, they're definitely going to Olive Garden.
Oh, man. Most of this movie is actually pretty entertaining. Sean Connery is like the beacon of this movie, and I can't stop fucking making fun of him. Like, may he rest in peace, but fuck me. Catherine Zeta-Jones is just fine. The ending does kind of flip the movie on its head tonally, and it doesn't fit at all. Otherwise, just a harmless caper movie.
Yeah, the ending to me is really whatever. I didn't hate it, but it was just like, we did it. I've known you for a week and a half. Now we're suddenly in love with $1 billion kind of things. One of those cliches. Overall, honestly, I really liked this movie. I'd never heard of it before. I was really entertained through the whole thing. There's a lot of like James Bond, Indiana Jones, adventure, sneaking around elements. It was fun. I was into it.
It's a goofy spy film, and I found myself laughing at it, I guess for all the wrong reasons, but it made the movie to me all that more enjoyable. Like, I wish this could have been a film that we could have watched together and got fucked up and like just been drinking and laughing our asses off.
Well, there you have it. Entrapment from 1999. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the podcast alone, leave it in the comment section below.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you know next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on all of our different social medias. We got that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a Reddit. A wonderful administrator who's constantly pumping out new material for you guys, so give it a check. If not, maybe we'll steal trillions and trillions of dollars just to end up with a Scottish accent and a case of ED.
That seems like a good trade.